Hello, today we're going to do an update on the Redsea Reefer 250 and I'm going to tell you about a growth spurt that my SPS are experiencing. Hello and welcome back everyone to Amra Azul TV. It's February 2021. Happy Valentine's Day everyone. Alright, so a little bit of a tank update. Things are going well. I guess let me do a parameter check. Alkalinity is about 8, calcium 454, magnesium 1482, nitrates are about 2.5 parts per million, and phosphates are 1. Let me just get the numbers right. It's 0.16 ppms. So my alkalinity is a little bit low, and I think it's related to a growth spurt that my SPS seem to be having. We're gonna check this out. We're gonna look at the pictures. We're gonna look at the top-down tour. I'm gonna show you pictures of what the corals look like about 6 to 8 weeks ago. But I'm just noticing really obvious signs of growth and incrustation, but also upward growth in almost all of my SPS. Not really sure what this is due to, but certainly I think that the lower alkalinity. If you know my tank, you know that I have Trident running that tests the alkalinity and automatically doses alk. So my dosing, which typically is between 20 to 22 milliliters of ESV per day, is now up to 31, and I'm still at 8. Usually I like to keep 8.5. So clearly something is happening in the tank that is leading to this higher kind of consumption of alkalinity. It could be related to kind of upping the par. It could also be that a lot of these SPS fags were added I think maybe about 6 to 8 months ago, and sometimes it takes a bit of time for the new frags to kind of settle in before they start kind of growing. But certainly I think we're hitting a period where we're getting substantial growth on SPS. Here is the top-down tour, and so my clam is doing really good. The wildlife, World Wildlife, this is Little Red Ferrari, and it's hard to tell that it's grown, but I've actually taken 2 really chunky frags out of this. Same with the Ishinada. The Ishinada tends to be in high demand, so I tend to kind of trim it a little bit aggressively. But here is, you could clearly see the growth on Orange Passion. This is a picture from about 4 weeks ago. Actually, no, 8 weeks ago. And you could see there's a lot more incrustation, and it's actually going upwards. It's hard to tell that it's been going upwards, but it's certainly moving upwards as well. Really love the colors on this. So far, it's kicking the Walt Disney's ass for sure. The Cali Tort certainly has been encrusting more and growing outwards. Look at the Montipora bubblegum digitada. That's what it looked like about 2 months ago. Really large growth sideways and upwards. So I'm gonna have to kind of keep on top of it and trim it. I love the colors. I just don't want it to kind of take over. The Applejack also, you could see it's encrusting on the rock on the bottom. I'm convinced that Applejack is the same thing as Rainbow Loom, by the way. Then what we have here is the Slimer. Definitely way more encrusting, and it's actually growing like long branches. So certainly this coral has been growing really well over the past 2 months. And same thing with the bubble blueberry wine. Really long sideways branches coming out of the coral that were just kind of little stumps about a couple of months ago. So far so good on this boulder. The the Jolt is the only one that doesn't seem to kind of be doing anything. So I mean, yes, it is encrusting a little bit, but it's still kind of slow. So I think it's one of the slowest growing acroporas in my tank. But this is the golden jaw dropper, also getting thicker branches and moving upwards. The PC rainbow. This one doesn't look like it's grown, but you can see on the rock it's encrusting a little bit. And actually, I did cut a couple of tiny frags off of this because everybody seems to want to have a frag of this beautiful coral. The Marvin the Martian is definitely getting bushier. I didn't show the previous picture because a lot of the growth has actually been upwards, so it's hard to notice, but it's certainly gotten larger. And so did the pot of gold. You can see that there's way more kind of encrusting tissue on the disc. The strawberry shortcake, you could see there was like a big growth spurt. There was more encrusting, and it's also growing longer branches and longer sideways branches, and the colors are looking really great. So I'm glad this thing kind of came back from the dead, because if you remember, this thing was like pale. It was brown. I actually thought it was gonna die, so that's why I put it in a black hole of death. The Walt Disney's encrusting a little bit more. I didn't want to show the previous picture because the Walt Disney was a more recent frag, so it's kind of not fair to compare it with all the other corals, but certainly it's been growing, it's been encrusting, and I'm getting the pink tip. So I think it's gonna color up pretty soon, and then we're gonna have a real comparison between the WD and the Orange Passion. But my money's in the Orange Passion. Major Laser is growing chunkier, and so is the Pac-Man. The Pac-Man, I took the top of the crown from it because somebody wanted the frag. I didn't mind like taking a big chunk because it grows pretty quickly. And then here we have the Fox Flame. It's also getting really big. Like for example, that little branch on the left side here, that was just a tiny little nub a couple of months ago. I have these little cute gold cowries, I think, gold dollar cowries. They're really beautiful. The mantle comes out and covers the shell, and they kind of go around munching on the rocks at night. The pink Cadillac, you can see there is like no branches, side branches, or very little side branches, and then now we are getting these nice kind of like 1-inch side branches growing out of the coral, so it's definitely growing bigger. And so did the Bonsai Valida. Again, if you look at the before picture, those tiny little sideways branches were just kind of starting, but they've gotten considerably larger, and the colors have gotten a little bit more intense as well. I think the pink lemonade, here's one where you could see there was like definitely a big chunk of growth, a big spurt of growth, so more encrusting on the frag disc and way more upward branches, which is great because I really like the colors of this frag, and I wanted to get larger as soon as possible. The TNT and Acropora is kind of liking that spot. It's still kind of growing. My electric Miyagi tort, you could actually see where I keep trimming it, so because I'm trying to prevent it from interfering and encroaching on the rainbow loom. So I've been kind of constantly hacking at it. And the rainbow loom is not only colored up really nicely, but the branches are getting bigger, and yeah, they're just very kind of lovely colors. So that's it for the top-down tour. Again, I'm not entirely sure why the corals are taking off right now, but I'm certainly happy about it, so I'm not complaining. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching, and see you next time. Have a good day.